step into Wix Studio.
Hey. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Hey, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. If the music is good. If the music's too loud. We're doing some sound checks. Phillip, can you say hi and we can see if your sounds are good too?
Hello.
Can you guys hear Phillip? Let me know in the chat. We're going to be on in just a second. I'm going to get my yarn right now, but I need you guys to vote now on what color you want my main color to be. So what color should our main color be? Let's say, throw purple in there. We'll try blue. What other colors? Let's try orange. And what's another good main color, Phillip? Maybe red?
Yeah.
Red?
Let's do red.
All right, let's do red. There we go. All right, guys, vote now in the chat. They can hear us both, and we're both sounding good. Okay, great. All right, I'm going to go grab those colors and my crochet materials, and I'll be on in just a moment.
Patricia, keep those Archaeopteryx facts coming. I love reading them.
Yes. Yeah, we got a bunch of dino facts to go over today, if we get a chance. Oh, hey, by the way, everybody, if you're watching and you want to enter the giveaway, there should be a link at the top of the chat or in the top of the description. If you leave a comment there, we're going to do a giveaway by the end of the live stream for whoever, or just randomly for one of the people that comment on that post. Oh, I forgot my safety eyes. Chocolate. Alrighty. You ready to rock and roll, bud? Let's get going. Alright, bud. Alright, let's do it. Jimbo, come here. Okay. Alright. 3, 2. Which one was it? This one. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Today, in this very special live stream, we are going to be... Whoa, I'm a little laggy. Well, whatever. It's going to be that way. Hi, everybody. Today, we're going to be crocheting an Archaeopteryx. Did I say that right, Philip? I feel like I said it right.
Yeah, you got it.
Archaeopteryx. It's a weird name, but a really cool dinosaur. It's like seriously one of the coolest dinos ever. I love it. It's like when he first sent me it, I was like, what? Dude, this is crazy. Uh-oh, wait, hold on. We are doubling up on sound somewhere. Hold on. Where's that coming from? It's a weird name, but a really hold on. Like seriously one of the coolest dinos ever. Which one of yous is making sounds when you're not supposed to? Dude, this is crazy. Uh-oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. We are doubling up on sound somewhere. Hold on. I'm getting sound from somewhere that it shouldn't be coming from. Hold on. Where the heck is it coming from? Which one of yous is making sounds when you're not supposed to? I'm so sorry, guys. This is what I meant. We're having technical difficulties today. Sorry. Getting sound from somewhere that it shouldn't be coming from. Maybe this one? No. Computer audio. Where's this one coming from? Oh, jeez Louise, why is everything getting all funky? All right, well, whatever. We'll make it work. Hi, Philip. You're on camera, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we are going to be crocheting an Archaeopteryx today, and we're voting right now on what we want at least my main color to be. Are you going to be crocheting along with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, dude, we definitely have a double camera or double audio. Where's that double audio coming from? Oh, that's so not good. That's really frustrating. We are going to be crocheting an Archaeopteryx today. Okay, if I quit this. Nope, it's not coming from there. Where the heck is it coming from then?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's see if we delete this, if that'll work. That was where it was coming from. Okay, we're not going to have the counter on screen then because it's making our noise. It's giving us problems. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I am only one man. I can only do so much. And I guarantee you I'm going to mess up things every now and then. Okay. All right. We're calling it. This is official. We're good.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So, Philip, this is one of the coolest patterns ever. I have to ask you a bazillion questions today. But the first one is, what made you decide on an Archaeopteryx? Because this was one of the most unique dinosaur choices ever. And what made you choose on this weird but amazing dinosaur to crochet?
I used to subscribe to these dinosaur magazines, like back in the 90s. There was like a magazine, I forget what it's called, but it would come with 3D glasses and would have all these like 3D pictures in it too. And I remember being obsessed with the Archaeopteryx page. So like 3-4-year-old me was just like insanely like in love with this bird. So I just I don't know, when I had the opportunity to make a dinosaur, this is the only one that pops in my head.
Would you say it's your favorite dinosaur then?
I think so. And
I
like
love
I
that.
really love birds, so just like it's a cool bridge between birds and reptiles.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's like, it feels like the what's it called? Wasn't there like a specific discovery of humans? Not humans, but it was like a Homo erectus, but it wasn't Homo erectus. I can't remember what the name of the what they named her. I think like Betty or something like that. And she was like the connection point between humans and apes originally.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is exactly that with dinosaurs and birds. It's like, oh, this is the connection point. This is what makes it so clear that birds came from dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. we have also a bunch of facts today. Again, I'm so sorry about all the technical difficulties today, but we do have some pretty cool stuff going on. The first of which is that we have a big giveaway going on right now, and all you need to do to enter that giveaway is hit that little, there's in the chat, there's going to be a little link that says enter the giveaway, and all you need to do is go there and comment with what your favorite dinosaur is. Oh my gosh, I'm getting double sound again because my computer is having a stonk. There we go. So all you need to do there is enter the giveaway by giving us a dinosaur fact. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some dinosaur facts as we go. So let's see, what dinosaur fact could we start with? I remember the one that I really liked that I was like, whoa, that's interesting, is the crest of the Parasaurolophus. This is a comment from Nina. They say that the crest of the Parasaurolophus was actually a noisemaker and used to communicate with other members of the herd. It replicated the sound of a trumpet. I think that it's so cool that we're finding out all these new things about dinosaurs, and especially like very unique attributes about them, so that they're not just like giant lizards, but they have like culture, and they have like specific ways that they call to each other and things like that. And I just think it's so interesting. Was the Archaeopteryx one of the first ones that made us realize that they had feathers? Do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of the first. And since they found the Archaeopteryx, I think they found like many more like bones very similar to it. So they discovered lots of other bird-like dinosaurs.
And like, was this the signifier? After they found this, did they then figure out that like other dinosaurs probably also had feathers? Because I always assumed that they like found signifiers on fossils, that they were like, okay, this is a signifier that this bone contained feathers, which is what I assumed they first realized when they got like full casts of this dinosaur in like mud, you know, like it was like casted, so then they knew like, okay, look, that's got wings clearly. But then now they're like, okay, raptors have wings too, and Lucy, that was the name of the creature. Thank you, the missing link. Thank you, Zoe. And so now I assume that they have a way to know if bones included feathers in it. I don't know. Right. I wonder about that. I think that is such an interesting part of paleontologists in general. Is just like, wow, you can learn so much about these dinos, like just from like not even bones, like casts of bones that have been stuck there forever. It's just like the things that humans can figure out from the smallest amount of information is just wild to me. It's like the craziest. It's just so crazy to me.
Yeah, like they have to be detectives, basically.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and like detectives without even having any evidence up front. Like they have to be detectives with evidence from like millions and millions of years ago. I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys chose purple for my main color. I need a secondary color. I think I'm gonna just go with yellow for the secondary color. That's gonna be the beak and stuff. This pattern's really cool because so it obviously it has 3 different colors. Here, wait, actually, I have this set up so I could do this. Does this work? No. This one. There we go. So I have it set up so we can do a little camera here. So what's really cool about this is it's got like 3 different colors, but I think one of my favorite parts about this design is the way that you did the feathers is so cool. This is not the first time you've done this with feathers though, right?
No, I designed a Ho-Oh from Pokemon.
Oh,
a couple
yes.
years ago. Yeah, so the wings are similar but simplified.
Similar but simplified. Yeah, totally. That is such a unique way to crochet. I've never really made anything like that, and I just thought it was so cool. I definitely think I'm going to incorporate something similar in future designs with feathers and stuff, just because like it just feels just so unique. Same with these tail feathers. I really like the way that the tail feathers were sewn on. And you know me, normally I'm not really into sewing a lot of things together, but I just think you killed it so much. And every time you do a pattern like this, where I look at it originally, I'm like, oh boy, that's going to be a lot of sewing. And then I finish it and I'm like, That was one of the coolest patterns I've ever made.
I think I wanted to make the beak and the head like nose so I just found a way to just incorporate the beak without having to cut the yarn at all.
Yeah, it's so cool. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm actually just gonna get started on the tail and feathers or wings right now, since I just have my purple in front of me, and then I'll grab my yellow yarn later on. But we are
blue and orange.
Blue and orange. I like that. That's what is that the one that you did? I saw in your video tutorial. By the way, Phillip did the video tutorial for this pattern, which thank you so much again, Phillip. You have no idea how much I appreciated that. I felt like I was drowning, and really needed the help of just like someone to do something else. And so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking that time.
No problem. And like, I appreciate how much work actually goes into all of these videos.
Yeah.
It's like hours and hours and hours to create like a 1.5 hour video.
Yeah, it is that is definitely true. And yeah, like I think that's something that designers a lot of times when we do collaborations, like that gets acknowledged very often when someone else tries to do does one of the videos, because Drew said a very similar thing where he did a video and he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Like you got it. And I was like, yeah, I get that. I definitely get that.
But I mean, like, you've done this for years now. Like, you've honed this skill.
I will say, like, after what? I think I'm on year 18 or 19 of crocheting now. And after crocheting for that long, it's like I have a system, you know? I got a system in place of like, do this and do that. Eventually, I really want to come out with a series where I teach how I produce patterns for other designers to produce them a little bit better. It's just, that's a whole nother, like, how do I explain how I explain stuff,
Honestly, like, even teaching someone how to set up their camera.
Yeah.
To make everything viewable, nice and aesthetically pleasing, like, that's a skill in itself.
Yeah, I think, like, my idea was going to be to do, like, a whole series where it's like, okay, first, here's how I film video. Or it would probably go through, like, I guess it would have to start with here's how I design patterns. And then from there, like, here's how I write it down. Here's how I test them out. And then here's how I record it. But how do you design your patterns? Do you draw them? Or do you just go and just straight up crochet it? Or because every crocheter seems like they do it differently.
I'm an Aries, so I just go for it.
You just go for it.
There's like no planning. Most projects I do nowadays, like it's just kind of whatever pops into my head, like at any given moment. And then I just go.
I love that. Just go for it. That's crazy, but I love it.
We've had like conversations before where when we talk about our processes, it's like crocheting is just like drawing, but with yarn.
Yeah.
You can erase and you can draw new lines. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's just like sketching, and if you make a mistake, you just erase it. No biggie.
Yeah. So, especially, as you get better and better at crocheting too, it definitely feels like that, where you just start learning all these. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely love these collaboration patterns, is because it, like, I learn so much. Every single design that I do from another designer, it's just like, oh my gosh, I never thought about using that for crochet. For this pattern specifically, it's the wings. I was like, oh my gosh, of course. And I've seen you do it with the ho-oh, but I never crocheted your ho-oh. So I was like, oh my gosh, they make me realize how much I need to, like, I gotta be crocheting more people's designs. And this just gives me the excuse to do it. But, like, I really need to start crocheting more people's designs, because I feel like I learned so much so fast. And as you, like, compile those techniques over, like, time of just like learning, oh, okay, that's how this stitch could work in a weird way. For example, your bean stitch. I love your bean stitch. I did, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's this stitch that Phillip came up with. He called it the bean stitch. And it's this really weird stitch that I've never, like, I just never thought about doing that. It's kind of like, how do you even explain it? It's like an inverted bobble or like something weird like that. I don't really know how to explain
it's
it.
Like, just like a simplified bobble stitch, almost.
Oh, your volume is not as high as mine. Okay, my bad. 1 second, guys. I'll turn my volume down a little bit to match. Thank you for letting me know. And keep me updated as we go about, like, just little things like that. Sorry, Phillip. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries. What was I saying? Oh, because, like, puff stitches, normally you'll, like, insert, I don't know, 3 or 4 half double crochets in there. But if you just want that effect, but just lessened a little bit, like, that's how I figured out the bean stitch. I would want it to puff out just a tiny bit, but not as much as it would for, like, a bobble.
Yeah. To make toe beans, right? That was what it was originally named for?
Yeah, just to make, like, little indents for the paws.
Yeah. And, you know, I found out something special about that stitch, too, which is that you can actually, like, pull out one of the loops of the bean stitch if you're really careful, and you can pull it out, and it creates this extra loop on the outside. And then what I found is, here, actually, I can show you, because I have it right here. I found that you could cut those loops to create fur.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that awesome? I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such... So I used it for this cactus to make little spikes on the cactus. But I just thought, oh my gosh, what a fun way to use this stitch. So these were all bean stitches that I just pulled the loop out and then I cut them.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah, here, I'll show you
I know a lot of people, when they make hair, they just, like, go in with a crochet hook and latch it over and over and over again. But that is, like, such a...
It's so much easier. Yeah, it's such an easier way to do it. That's exactly what I was. I've been meaning to show you about it. Here, let me show you one where it's not cut.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
No,
Okay.
I love that effect.
So this is what it looks like before.
Okay.
So you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see my camera as much as you can see it on the thing, but you can see these are all little bean stitches, and they make these kind of like horizontal. Oh, you know what? I have a question about the way you crochet. So you crochet the X stitches. I think I don't know what they're really called, but they're yarn.
So
I yarn over. You yarn under, right?
So the way that I do it, for the first insert, I do a yarn over, but then when I draw through both stitches, I yarn under. So I start with over and then under.
Okay, so you yarn over normally, and then you yarn under for the second pull through?
Yes.
Interesting.
My
So that's another thing that I've been learning is that everybody's doing their crochet stitches very differently. Like Drew does yarn under, and what... Okay, dude, get this. Drew is the craziest crocheter ever because he crochets... Everything is held in one hand. It's...
Yeah, I saw him do that on your live stream.
It's like, what are you talking... I've seen him do it a bunch, and I still cannot, like, wrap my head around how does that make any sense?
Because when I knit, I would hold everything in one hand. But then when I switch to crochet, like, my working yarn just has to be on the opposite hand.
Yeah. It just makes more sense that way.
Yeah. Like, I could see, like, maybe if he had dabbled in knitting before he got into crochet.
But, like, I don't understand how he does... And I've asked him this, and he's explained it. And I've been, like, every time he explains it, I'm like, oh, okay. But I don't get it. Because I don't understand how he can do, like, bobble stitches. How he can do, like, weird stitches with that. Like, it feels like he could crochet literally one-handed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if I lost an arm, I'd be hooped. If he lost an arm, he'd be
I always say, if I lost an arm, I really hope that the arm that I lose is my right hand, so then I can just replace it with a crochet hook. And
Yeah. Oh, you'd be the coolest pirate.
Yeah, the coolest pirate. Okay, so you don't draw any of your designs first. You just come up with it in your noggin, and then you just go for it. What is the most complicated design that you've done that way without actually like prepping by drawing it first?
Honestly, like this is gonna circle back to the Ho-Oh. I think that's like the most detailed and complex design I've made in a while. So yeah, something like that. And like the Ho-Oh has just so many pieces that you have to put together.
Yeah.
Like the wing itself is just like 3 separate pieces.
How many of those have you made?
I will make 1 per convention that I go to. So this past year, I've done 3 conventions so far. So I've only made 3 Ho-Ohs.
And do they sell at like every convention?
I do. Like it is such an undertaking though, so I feel like it adds to the rarity since, you know, I don't make them very often.
Have you made a shiny one? Or is it always the same, like the normal colors?
Oh, hold on. I don't even remember what the shiny Ho looks like.
I think it's gold.
I get so disappointed sometimes when like the shiny uglier than the normal.
I totally agree. Sometimes you're just like, why did you wait? Or they like barely change the shade, and you're like, what?
Yeah, like
this is a shiny Pokemon.
Gengar.
Why is it like just a slightly lighter shade of purple?
Yeah, like shiny Gengar is probably the most disappointing one, just because it just becomes a lighter purple.
Until it's mega evolved, then it turns white, I think, which looks pretty sick.
Right. I just looked at Golden Ho-Oh is the shiny color.
It is okay.
Yeah. So what about your process? Do you draw anything before you crochet it?
It really depends on the design. If I'm doing one of my little itsy bitsy ones, like honestly, like most of my dinosaurs, I usually don't draw it because it's just all made in like one piece. So it's kind of easier for me. I mean, sometimes I like doodle just like, okay, this is how I want the face or something to be. But usually it's like, okay, I know I want to go from top to bottom, and I'm just gonna start going, and then, you know, like you said, erase, redo. Just so I can condense everything in as small of a piece as possible. But I also usually make like 5 or 6 before I even really consider the pattern like written officially. I usually make like 2 or 3 before I even write it down for the first time. Just so that I don't like, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's because I'm lazy, but sometimes it's because I don't want the written version of it to skew how it's made, so that I consistently, make it more optimized and stuff that way, so I can be a little bit more optimal. Because if I can remember it without actually seeing it written down, then I know like, okay, this must be like, this is optimal. If I'm remembering like, okay, this is the perfect stitch count is like that, then that's like great. Good job on the design. But honestly, it all comes down to different kinds of patterns. I really, one thing I've noticed actually, I think this collaboration was the one that really made me recognize that I haven't been doing a lot of big designs in a while. I've been doing a lot of tiny designs and like miniatures and stuff, and I love doing that. I think I'm very good at it, and it's very fun. But I also think that it's time for me to do another big crazy design. So I like, you've inspired me to get a little bit more out of my comfort zone with a design in the future. So thank you so much for that.
Do you have something that you're, I don't know, like have an inkling towards?
I was thinking, I mean, I don't have anything right off the bat, but I do. The next ones that I really wanted to put effort into, I wanted to really put effort into a huge tutorial for mushrooms. I really want to do like a whole thing on just a bunch of different mushrooms for the next seasonal kit. But then I also wanted to do gnomes, but both of those are tiny. So I think I want to try doing something completely different and then come back to those designs afterwards. So I was kind of thinking of just doing, I used to do those Monster Mondays where I draw something and then crochet it.
Yeah.
on a live stream. So I think I'm gonna do something like that, where I'll just draw something a little wild and then make a big crazy design, or maybe make another puppet. That would be really cool if I could. Because that's one of my favorite things I've ever made is a puppet. So it'd be kind of fun to do another puppet.
Oh yeah. For your Lava Run game, I think you mentioned that it came to you in a dream.
Lava Run did not come to me in a dream. Lava Run came to me in an angry night. Actually, it's a pretty good story. So here's what happened. Okay. I posted on Reddit. I posted a crocheted T-Rex on Reddit on r/aw, so like the cute subreddit, and it was going viral. I left it alone. I posted it like at 1 p.m. or something, and then I came back to it at like midnight, and it was like it had like 15,000 upvotes, and it was on the front page, and blah blah blah. And then then Jules went to bed, and I came back to it at like 2 or 3 a.m. and the post had been removed. I had been blocked from ever posting again. I couldn't message the moderators. They muted me from ever like messaging them, and I was banned permanently from the subreddit. And I was like, what? Why? What did I do? I didn't do. I just posted it. Like, I didn't know what I did. I think it had to do with self-promotion, but I wasn't self-promoting anything. I think it's because someone else posted a link to my pattern in the comments or something. But anyhow, the point is, it made me very upset because I was like, what do so I got really, really upset in the middle of the night. And Jules, my wife, was asleep, so I couldn't complain to her, and I basically saw like two pathways. I could either get really upset on the internet and like post and just say mean things for no reason, and just like try to get my anger and upsetness out, or I could convert this energy into something completely different and just like distract myself and ignore it, but like use that energy for something else. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a game. It's like one of my favorite things to do when I get really upset, or just when I'm bored. I do a thing called New Game, where I'll make a game from scratch using like just whatever I want. I basically say that there's a board and there's pieces, and the board can be just like a soccer field or whatever, and then the pieces could be the soccer ball. And then I do a new game where I use the exact same board and pieces, but I make an entirely different game using the same stuff, and I try to like really stretch myself to make it as different as possible from the original game. So that was the plan, was that I wanted to do a new game to distract myself from my being upset and just, you know, make something fun. But then I made Lava Run. Like, that was the first thing I did. I was like, okay, I'm gonna use Post-it notes, and I'll use these for arrows, and I'll blah blah blah. And then, like, it was 4 a.m. I had been working on it for like an hour, and it worked. And it worked like so well. And I was like, wait, actually, I don't need to play new. Like, this is awesome. Like, this is the coolest. This is one of the coolest things I've ever made. And then I woke up, or I went to bed like at 5 a.m. after just playing it by myself a bunch, and pretty much ignoring my upset emotions. And then I woke up the next day, and Jules was like, how was your night? What'd you get done? And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, I made the coolest thing ever. I can't wait to show you. And I showed them my game, and she goes, wow, that's so cool. Like, but I thought you were supposed to do work last night. Like, why didn't? And I realized that I had totally forgotten about the thing that really upset me. And that wasn't the thing that was the first thing that I told her about in the morning. Like, it didn't even come to mind. So I completely diverted this negative energy into something positive. And I'm just really, really, like, it completely changed my perspective on my emotions, and it made me realize how much more in control I actually am of my emotions and my mental state than I think I am in the moment, because when those emotions hit you, they hit hard. And so it just completely changed my perspective on creativity and just everything. And it made me really, I was really proud of myself. I like, not just for making this cool game, but also for not being a jerk, like not adding more negativity, and instead creating positivity through something that was upsetting. Yeah. So that's the story of how that one was made. And then Stitched, my other game, was made like in 30 minutes of just frantic energy, where I had all those goblins made, and then Jules was like, Lou, what are you gonna do with these? You can't, like, I hadn't been posting them on the internet or anything. I just was making hundreds of goblins.
No.
And and she was like, you got to do something with these. You can't just like take over our apartment with these goblins. And I was like, what if I made a game? And then 30 minutes later, I had Stitch, and I was like, I'm a genius. I love this. This is so cool. I think that was the spark of just like me being into games in general, or like making games.
Yeah. Well, what's the biggest thing you learned about the process of coming up with Stitched, and how did it help you with Lava Run?
Ooh, the biggest thing I learned about making Stitched, I think that the biggest thing I learned about making Stitched was that I really... Well, the first thing I learned was that this gave me a lot of joy. In a time when like I obviously I get joy from crocheting, as I'm sure you do, but I'm not gonna deny that like once your hobby becomes your job, it does kind of suck a little bit of the joy from it. Like I love doing it. I'm gonna do it every single day, but it's not like my hobby anymore. It's this is what I do. And so I think one of the things I learned about game design was that I learned that this was another thing that gave me a lot of joy. And so I learned that from it, and that like if I'm not enjoying it, then something needs to change about it. Specifically about the game, like so when you're playing the game, if you're not having fun while you're playing the game, then there's something wrong with the game. It needs to be fun, otherwise like what's the point? Like, why am I sitting here playing this game over and over? And so I tried to carry that into Lava Run. I will say, originally, when the game was announced and released and stuff, I did get feedback of like, hey, this isn't very fun. Like, the competitive aspect is not very fun for little kids. Like someone had told me, like, I played this with my kid, and she didn't like the idea of being mean. She hadn't played it with her other friends yet, but she didn't like the idea of being mean to her friends and like having to like strategically, kill her friends' dinosaurs. And so that really sparked another fire under my butt of just being like, oh, someone's not having fun with my game. I need to make a new way to make this game more fun, which is where co-op mode and the single player mode came in. And now I think it's an even better game. I really hated that feedback when I first heard it. It really I originally I was like, dude, sometimes you lose games. Like, come on. I got like super defensive about it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm really glad that they gave me that feedback, because that's their truth, and they're right. Like, if it's not fun for them, like, how can I alter this to be more fun for them? Or how can I alter the original rules, or how can I add something upon this to make it more fun for them? And I think the co-op mode is really like a cool way that worked out.
You're getting multiple games in one box.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I just need to learn how to like format it in the rules right now. So that's what I've been working on this week. Is I've been like writing up the rules in a cleaned up rule book, and it's kind of hard to. I don't know. I'm having a hard time like visualizing which of these rules do I explain first? Like, so
Yeah.
that's my current like dilemma with Stitched. Yeah, I agree, Zoe. That is applicable to life. If it's not fun, something needs to change. And I mean, not everything in life needs to be fun. Like, obviously, not everything in life is gonna be fun. It's not fun to like clean the toilet and stuff. Some things you just need to do. But like the things that are supposed to be deriving joy in your life, whether that's playing a video game or drawing a picture or whatever, if it's creating more frustration and anger in your life, then it in my opinion, it either needs to change, or you need to like practice it more till it gives you joy. Like something, it's not there yet. I guess that's what it means. If it's not bringing you joy, then it's not at its completed state. I don't really know how to explain what I'm trying to say there. I'm kind of just rambling at this point. So Philip, tell me some more things about this design. Or about your design philosophy in general. So you do a lot of just like off the cuff, you design things sometimes, and you don't really draw them out. How many times do you write down the pattern immediately after designing it for the first time?
No, like I'll take kind of loose notes. So like I wouldn't write down like single crochet da 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 da. I would just write the stitch count number.
Yeah.
So then, like if you were to look at any of my notebooks, it's just like a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
Like no words or anything. It just looks like a serial killer's notebook. And then like after 2 or 3 more attempts, like I'll adjust things here and there just to get the proportions right. So it does take a few trials before I get it.
So that actually, the numbers thing brings up another good question for you. So if you guys didn't know, Philip is also a teacher. Specifically, I think it's still a math teacher. Yes, yeah. Or do you teach other things as well?
I used to teach dance, but it's mostly just math nowadays.
So how much does math come into your design philosophy and the way that you design things?
A lot. I think like 6s, because we work in the round, 6 shows up so often. Like I think there's just like such a magic to that number, because somehow 6 creates a circle.
Yeah.
And then when I'm designing, I work out the math in my head really quickly, and I just think it's a really efficient way for me to get patterns done, or like to think about patterns. Like when I'm thinking about shaping, like I don't think about what I'm actually crocheting. I think more of like just like the stitch count numbers. Like, what if I go from 6 to 9 and then 9 to 12?
Yeah, that is something that's really interesting about your designs too. Is like even when you're making circles, or like your mochi pattern, for example, it's really interesting to me because you use increasing and decreasing in a very interesting way, in a way that and it's very subtle. I think that's what's really important about it, is like you're very, very subtle about how you use increasing and decreasing to shape your projects in a very specific way that I mean, I don't know, but it seems like it's something that comes from like your knowledge of math, or your joy of math, where you just, I think you understand how things get shaped as a crocheter in a very unique way, and I really appreciate it as a crocheter. Like I really like making your designs for that reason.
I think that's why, like when somebody asks me like how to get into designing their own patterns, like I don't know what to tell them, because honestly for me it's just years and years of trial and error.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, crocheting other people's patterns teaches you so much more than you could ever learn by yourself.
Yeah.
Because for this Archaeopteryx, the way that the beak and the head are attached, you just do a half color change, and ever since I learned that from you, like it's changed my life.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel the same way about like legit, like 90% of the designs that I work with for you, I go, wow, like I learned so much from that. I learned from Drew's pattern I learned how to, like, he made this crazy. Well, first off, I learned how to do shaping in a weird way on his pattern because the tail of his piece is shaped like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like reversed. It's like the increases are on the bottom, and I don't really know how to explain it until you make it.
Yeah,
but
like the increases are on the bottom, and then the decreases are like right in the middle of the tail at the top.
yeah, and it's like a very strange. It was kind of like opposite of how I imagined how it would work. Like, to get this swoop in the back, I would think that you would do, I don't know. I was also like really sleep deprived when I was like helping him do some design work for it. So I was like, I don't understand how this is working. And it took that head pounding like I don't get this to finally get it, and then it like unlocked. Like it felt like a new section of my brain was unlocked of crochet design. Like, oh yeah. Right, that's how things work. And the same with like how the legs are connected. I'm really excited to share Crochet Me Zaddy's Zach's pattern. He does this really cool thing in his pattern to make the shell, and I'm not going to spoil too much about what he made, but there is a shell involved, and he has a very interesting technique for connecting everything together so that's no sewing. And it was another like, duh, of course you could do that. How did I not think about doing that? It really feels like within the past, honestly, since me and you have started crocheting, so much of the crochet world has evolved. I feel like we have seen truly a renaissance in the crochet community of the way things are designed and what is designed and how things are marketed and how it's just like it really feels like the world of crochet, specifically of amigurumi, has been shifting pretty wildly in I think in a good way.
Oh, totally. And what I like about crocheting is that it's so open-ended that nobody has ever crocheted every single stitch.
Yeah.
Because you can create new stitches all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what people are doing.
Yeah. I mean, me and you both have created our own stitches, and like that we didn't even think about it as new. I mean, a little bit, but also, I don't know. There's something about crocheting that I used to be really into skateboarding when I was in middle school and early high school. And one of the things I really liked about skateboarding is the idea that you could like kind of utilize a bunch of other tricks to make a new trick. And that's how I feel about stitches and crocheting. It's like when you look at like my spiked bobble stitch for making the points of the noses and stuff, that is like a bobble stitch with a mini picot in between, and it feels like I just did like when I first made it, it felt like I did like a kick flip mixed with like a pop shove it to make a tray flip or something like that, and it was like it just made me go like, oh wow, like I just like merged a bunch of things to make this work, and it's just really I love crocheting. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I lost track of where I was on this wing. So we did 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, and the last two are small wings. Right. I love how you made these wings. By the way, like the way that you crocheted them out and then in to make these like. It was a very like unique way to design it.
Yeah. I think I really wanted that feathery look without having to make every individual feather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think a thing that I learned from crocheting all of your dinosaurs from your kit, the way that your brain works to be able to crochet everything in a single piece in one go, like it is so smart and clever. Like that little T-Rex that I made from your pattern, like that's my favorite game piece. Like I always go for that guy.
Have you had a chance to make the raptor yet? I really think you're gonna love that one.
Yeah, I do love like it's just like the shape of its little body.
I know it. I will say like making them now, especially when I forget about how I made it, and then I like come back and I reread the pattern, and I'm like, sometimes I go like, what the heck was I thinking? Like, this is so difficult because it's so dense and it's like, ah! But there's something about designing those things that, like I was saying, I think I've kind of gotten into just the kind of swing of things with those miniature designs where I think I'm very good at it. And it's very fun to do because it feels like a puzzle. Like I'm figuring out a puzzle, like making it from scratch. But I'll also say that, like, currently in my design, like my arc of crochet, I'm starting to get more into enjoying the sewing aspect again, which is something that I did not like for a long time. But I was talking to Drew like a few weeks ago, and we were talking about, actually it was when we were designing together his, we were talking about his crowbot, his like robot that like spun around and stuff like that. Yeah. And when we were doing our design, like when I was helping him with the design, it was made with sewing together, and I was like, it was very clear how I could make this into a no-sew pattern, if he wanted to. And so I reached out and I was like, hey, do you want to turn this into a no-sew pattern? And he said, no, I don't want to turn it into a no-sew pattern. I really like sewing, and I think it's a skill that more people need to like be comfortable with. I feel like everybody's trying to make these no-sew patterns when they don't need to be no-sew, and there's something really enjoyable about sewing things together, and I want to kind of like share that with people. And once he said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. Why have I been trying to avoid sewing so strongly, other than the fact that I don't love sewing a bunch of things together? And if it doesn't change the like what it looks like drastically, then yeah, I'd rather not be sewing. But if you can make something in a way with sewing that it, like, I don't know, there's something just really fun about it. So I've been getting a lot more into sewing again. And yeah, it's been a fun, like, it feels like I'm in a bit of a new renaissance for my crochet world, you know?
Yeah. I crocheted like your big brontosaurus, and then your like little mini
the itty bun, yeah,
brontosaurus. And like they're both so adorable, but like just the different scales, like they have their own charm, their own individual charm.
I actually designed the mini brontosaurus like years ago.
Yeah.
And it was one of those designs. I do this very rarely, but every now and then I'll make something and I'll be like, oh, that is really good. I'm not ready to share it. Like, and I don't know when I'm going to be ready to share it. I'm like, I want to hold on to this, but I don't want to share it. I need to find the right time, the right point. And I have a few of those in the back burner of just like, okay, well, this one's not ready, but when it is ready, it's going to be great. And that was one of them, of just like being like, okay, I'm going to hold on to this, and I'm going to share this when I'm ready. And then when I realized, oh, I want to do lava run and stuff, I was like, oh, well, there's the timing.
Yeah, that's a perfect excuse.
Yeah. So, hey, what kind of other designs are you working on right now? Do you have anything in the
in the works?
In the hopper?
So for the month of October, I'm gonna be releasing patterns for the Ghastly Haunter Gengar line. So once, like, each week, you're gonna get a new design.
Heck yes, I love that. Okay, wait. Question about your Haunter though. I do have to say, legs. Haunter doesn't have legs.
Doesn't have legs. But he has those like little arms, right?
Yeah. But didn't it have? I thought your crochet had legs.
No. I crocheted the little arms, but then I just like sewed it to the body.
Oh, I'm totally mistaken then. I was like, did he give Haunter legs? That's illegal.
And then, have you heard of Moodeng? Like the pygmy baby hippopotamus?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's the cutest thing in the world.
So I made a prototype of Moodeng.
Oh!
And I'm trying to finalize and, like, you know, look at where I want to fix some proportions. But
dude, oh my gosh, the eyes.
I know.
The eyes. Oh my god, that's so cute.
So I'm playing around with patterns now, or the pattern now, and I don't know. I'm hoping to get it out as soon as possible.
Yeah. That one's you got to get that out like ASAP for sure.
I've just been obsessed with watching videos of her like all week.
She is so cute, so rolly, so many rolls.
Yeah, and just so sassy, like to her keepers.
Hippos are so interesting of an animal. They're weird. They're a really weird animal.
And like super strong.
Yeah. They're very interesting. Hey, speaking of animals, I'm gonna get way ahead of schedule right now, and if you want to, let's brainstorm what endangered creature we should do for our next year's thing, because I think we did our turtles. Was it this year that we did our turtles, or was it last year? I think it was last year.
Last year.
Yeah. We missed a year.
Yes.
Yeah. So we gotta bring this back. What kind of endangered creatures have you had any thoughts about, like, what you'd want to do when we bring that back?
You go first. Let me.
Yeah, you go ahead and noodle. I know I'm throwing it right off the bat, and I will say I haven't really thought too strongly about it, but I have wanted to do an orangutan really bad, for a long time. So I might try that one, or do a sea critter. But I don't really know what kind of sea critter I'd want to add to it, or like make that so strange. I loved our turtles so much, though. It is truly one of my favorite, like, combo collaborations that ever. Like, that is another challenge. I'll say the endangered one is another one that is like, nothing pushes me like that one. Like, that challenge has made me design things in ways that I've never designed before, because I've been like I don't know. There's something about these collaborations that just make me really want to, like, share my crochet and learn from it. Like, I don't know. I really, if you can't tell, I really love working with you, Phillip. You're a super cool guy, and I love the way you make things. So thank you for being my friend, and thank you for crocheting with me and stuff. It's really cool.
Oh, likewise. For my endangered animal, I want to look into insects. Like, I want to see if there's like a bug or something that's endangered. Because I don't get to make a lot of bugs, or I don't push myself to make a lot.
I love that idea. That's such a good idea. I think we should do a season of just bugs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
like, do you recall making any
bugs? Insects? I'm not allowed to make certain bugs in this house. I'm not allowed to make spiders. That is
okay.
Even though I've got freaking million ideas on how to make a really adorable spider, Jules is very arachnophobic. So she is like, yes. No spiders. And you're allowed to give me one that I'm not supposed to do. So that's fine. But also telling me I'm not supposed to do something just makes me want to make it more. But that's just a personal thing. I've made let's see, what bugs have I made? I think I've made an ant or two. Ants would be a lot of fun, though, because they're all in those little segments, too, and they could use, like, pipe cleaners for the legs and stuff. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I haven't really made too many bugs, though. I know Curious Papaya, Amy, is working on, this is going to be a spoiler for anybody waiting for the next season, but they are working on a snail for our forest season, which I'm really, really excited about. I think that is such a fun idea. By the way, the forest season, I've actually been meaning to reach out to you about the forest season, because we were originally trying to do a forest season starting in October, but then this whole dinosaur thing got way too... There's too much going on. So I've had to push back a season, and we're doing like a whole, like an alternative... Like, this next season all the way up to January is going to be creating patterns for our past seasons and, like, revisiting these past kits to really just give myself a second and try to get more collaborations in place for this next season. So I'll reach out to you after this, but if you're interested in doing a forest-themed kit pattern, I very much would love to work with you on that.
Oh, totally. Is this gonna be separate from your mushroom thing?
No, the mushrooms are gonna be part of that season.
Okay.
Yeah.
How, what's your opinion on mushrooms? Everyone I've been meeting hates mushrooms.
I don't like eating mushrooms, personally, but I love mushrooms. I like looking at mushrooms. I like learning about mushrooms. I think they're super duper interesting and unique. If I lived in a more forested area, I would definitely be like collecting mushrooms. But they also creep me out. It's like one of those fascinations where you're like, I'm so interested in this, but I never want to put this in my body. I'm scared of it.
Especially when you see like some of the freaky mushrooms.
Like the blood one that like oozes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It just like looks like it's like squeezing a jelly donut.
Yeah. I think they're just so interesting though. Like, and there's the whole evolutionary aspect of that I'm just so fascinated in.
Yeah, like their root system and like how they communicate with each other.
Yeah. They're like aliens on Earth. They really feel very like weird. Yeah.
It came out on Netflix like about a couple months ago. But did you watch Scavengers Reign, or have you heard of it?
Oh my gosh, Philip! What? I knew you were gonna love that. I knew you were gonna love that show. That was one of my favorite shows that I've seen in a long time. I went on a whole spiel a few live streams ago where we were just talking about how much I loved that because it's so good.
It's like just mesmerizing. Like just the world that's created, how everything, I don't know, works like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
Like everything affects the other.
It feels real. It feels very like, I don't know. There's something just that show. If you're watching this live stream right now and you need a show to watch, and you're not too young, because the show is a little graphic. But if you're not, you're into something PG-13, go check out Scavengers Reign. It is one of the weirdest, coolest shows I've ever seen. It really makes you think, in my opinion, and it's one of the most interesting depictions of an alien world that I've ever experienced on screen. It's really, really cool. But it does have some mushroom vibes of just being like, what? How does this work?
So weird. And I think another thing I appreciated about Scavengers Reign is I find a lot of sci-fi that has come out in like the last little while. It's all just so militaristic.
Yes.
Like they just have to throw the U.S. Army in there. Whereas like Scavengers Reign, it's just straight up sci-fi. They're just regular people.
Yeah, I love that about it. I love that. You're right though. They've been throwing. I mean, everything feels very militaristic recently. It's just like why do I have to watch something? Why is there a gun in like everything that I watch now? It's like it's so. It just feels very unnecessary and very like annoying.
Like it feels like while I'm watching a movie, I'm being recruited for the army.
Yeah, and they're probably getting paid by the military to put certain things in there. At least sometimes they are, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, let's do another dinosaur fact real quick because I got a bunch of them. Let's see, and don't forget, hey, if you guys want to enter to win a hand crochet dinosaur by myself, I'm giving away hand crochet dinosaurs. All you need to do is comment on that post that I posted in the top of the chat or in the top of the description, and we are taking. All you need to do is give us a dinosaur fact, and we're gonna go ahead and read another dinosaur fact right now. Let's see which one here. Smelly Cat Jack said that Stegosaurus brains were teeny tiny in comparison to their almost 5-ton bodies. Their brains were only about the size of a walnut, so they were probably not very clever or coordinated. If we had the same body to mass ratio, our brains would be the size of a pea. Oh my gosh. A pea? That is very tiny. And I knew they had tiny brains. In fact, their ability in Lava Run. Were you able to play with the abilities when you played with your friends?
Yeah, and Stegosaurus has dumb luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's so smart to like give each dinosaur its own ability based off of like an actual effect.
Yeah, it's one of my like. I really, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to think about. Like, okay, wait, so this is what creature, and how is this gonna, like, what would they be able to do? What would the Archaeopteryx be able to do in Lava Run?
Ooh, I think similar to the pterodactyl, just gets an extra
Yeah,
little
like
pop.
an extra leap or something. Yeah, totally. They're speaking of using the Archaeopteris in Lava Run. Now this, unfortunately, it's like with the cotton yarn, it's a little big for the board, but I really want to try making one of these using embroidery. In fact, there's someone in the chat. I don't know if they're currently in the chat, but there's someone that consistently comes to these live streams. I think they go by MILF Crochet or something like that, and they made they're really good at micro crochet, making things using embroidery, and I really wanted to challenge them to try to make one of these with embroidery so you could play with it in Lava Run. But yeah,
Those always like amaze me because they are able to have so much detail in something so tiny.
it's crazy. Have you
To
ever
get
made something
eyes.
with embroidery before? Like embroidery?
Only like doilies and stuff, but I never actually tried amigurumi with embroidery thread.
It's tough, but a lot of fun. It
Yeah.
is like there's something about when you finish it, because you know, like when you first started crocheting and you finished making something and you were like, wow, look at this thing that I made. And now it's like, yeah, I still definitely get the, like, when I finished this, I was like, wow, that's super cool. But I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I did this.
Yeah.
That oh my gosh, I did that feeling comes back when you make something with embroidery felt or with embroidery thread. You're like, what the heck? How did I do that? It just feels really accomplishing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? I always forget how many feathers there are on it, but it's 5.
Yeah, 5 total. What was your favorite dinosaur? Or what is your favorite dinosaur?
It's been shifting a lot during this whole campaign. It's been shifting a lot, but I think my favorite is the Ankylosaurus or Ankylosaurus. I don't really know how to say it. If it's Ankyla, I mean, I guess it's a human word. It's
Yeah,
not what
I think they
were
call it something different in K.
Yeah. I really like that dinosaur a lot, but I also have always really liked the Pachycephalosaurus. I think that's how it's said. The one that's like the head buddy
One with the
one.
rock head? Yeah, Pachycephalosaurus.
I really like that dinosaur a lot.
Oh, let's see.
I wanted to include it in Lava Run, and it was part of like an early vote on like which dinosaur to add, but no one voted for it, so I was like, fine, maybe in some expansion pack later down the line or something. Okay, so I need to do a secondary color. I've got my wings and I got my tail. There's no way I'm finishing this today, though. By the way,
I know it's a lot of pieces.
yeah, but I will finish it. I'll finish another one of these. I mean, I want to make at least 2 more of these before the campaign ends. So I'll probably be continuing to work on this both like overnight and during maybe I'll do like some Instagram lives or something like that with it too. But what should my secondary color be for the other feathers and stuff? Any
Yeah, what does the chat
suggestions?
say?
Because I was thinking orange might be kind of cool to go with the purple, but I also did use orange for the other one. Blue doesn't really pop out enough, I don't think. I think it needs to be more contrasty. What are you doing? What colors are you doing? You're doing blue and orange?
I think blue and orange.
Yeah. Oh, but what about for the feathers?
Oh yeah, sorry. Doing. I want to do this like beige
Oh, okay.
for the undercolor.
Oh,
I don't
interesting.
know. I'm trying to decide. Do I want to do this or should I go with pink and make it like a bubblegum Archaeopteryx?
I mean,
You know what?
I definitely think pink, personally. And it looks
You know
like Jordan in the chat is saying pink. But maybe they're talking about, you know, I'm gonna do pink too, actually. I'm gonna go grab my pink yarn. What's that?
Hey, I'm gonna do pink as well.
There we go. Ugh. I think another dinosaur I really want to learn more about is ocean dinosaurs. I think that's a really interesting part of this that world that, you know, we don't know anything about. I was just thinking about like how many ocean creatures existed during the prehistoric era that we will never ever know about because they didn't fossilize, because it's so difficult for an ocean creature to fossilize. I mean, like sharks, the only thing that fossilizes is the teeth even. So just to think about like, whoa, what other things were down there or even currently are down there that we don't even know about.
Yeah, there's just no evidence
that's some
of it.
way interesting stuff. Ooh, green might be kind of cool too, actually. Someone just said like a neon green. Dang, that would also actually be pretty cool. Neon green or pink. You know what? I'm gonna put it in the chat here. Let's go ahead and do a poll real quick. And then while you guys are voting for it, I'll get started on the head. And I think I'm gonna stick to yellow with the purple for the beak and the feet. So, what should our feather color be? What? So pink. I'll throw orange in there just for fun. And what was the last one that I just said? Oh, green. All right, go ahead and vote now in the chat if you are in there. And while you're doing that, now I need to get up one more time because I need to grab my yellow yarn. Unless I have some right here, I don't. BRB. This is probably. Do you think this is enough? Do you think there's enough yellow yarn for the face?
I think so.
We might be playing chicken.
You'll need some for the feet too.
Yeah, we'll see. Ooh, glow in the dark yarn. That's an interesting choice too.
Have you played around with it? I've seen so many people crocheting with it.
Yeah, I did. I have. I can send you one actually. Next time I send you a kit, I'll send you some of the glow in the. Because I ordered like literally, I ordered like 50 balls of this glow in the dark yarn once because I'm an idiot. But
like, do you have to charge it in the light like you would other glow?
Yeah, I have a I actually have a light that charges it. It doesn't really charge in the sunlight very much at all. So I've got like I've made this little alien with it.
Cool.
And when you hit it really bright with this thing, it'll glow. You can kind of actually, yeah, you can see it kind of glowing already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't really last. Well, actually, you know, it doesn't. It's fun. It's like a fun thing to do, but it doesn't really take any. Like, sunlight itself won't make it glow, and it won't glow for a very long time. It's just kind of like a fun, kind of like a gimmick, a little bit.
Yeah.
But like a fun gimmick. I feel like there's got to be something fun you could do with like black lights in a room to make certain parts light up. I did play around with some of it. Using a laser light. That was really cool because the laser light only, wherever the laser light hit, it would glow that part, so you could like draw on it. That was pretty dope.
Cool. And do you know what makes it glow? Like, is there a residue on it?
Some kind of carcinogen, I'm sure. No, I don't know.
Like, does it feel like, is there a friction at all when you crochet it?
No, if anything, this one, this DIY glow from Lion Brand is actually really, it's like soft, very soft.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah, I don't really know what it is. I'm guessing it's just some kind of polymer or something. Like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of something there. Hey, what video games have you been interested in recently? Is there anything coming out soon that you're really excited about? Or anything that you've been playing recently that you really have enjoyed?
So right now I'm playing through Plucky Squire.
Oh, what do you think? Is it fun?
I love it. I love the art style. It's the artist James Turner. He's the one that designs like the current Pokemon, and like I love his art style. And this whole game just like kind of bleeds with yeah, I don't know, his artwork.
It's a really, really unique looking game. If you're in the chat right now and you don't know what we're talking about, there's this new game called Plucky Squire where the game starts in a book. Like you're like a 2D little squire and you're walking across a book, and then eventually you like basically get out of the book. I don't really know how it works yet because I haven't started playing it yet. But it is very, very cool, and it looks like the puzzles in it look so fun, but it's just got a great aesthetic. It also looks like every time you have like kind of a boss fight, they change up the game mechanics pretty drastically.
It's like a little mini game.
Yeah, it just looks like a really fun, interesting game.
Yeah, because you get the 2D platforming, just like Mario, but then you also get like once you get out of the book, you become 3D. Everything becomes 3D.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you get a taste of like every different type of video game.
That is super cool. I've been playing I've been playing Cult of the Lamb with Jules recently because they recently released like a co-op version of the game. And originally I started playing that game and I was like, this is a weird game. I don't know if I like this. But now I love it. It is so much fun.
Yeah, when it came out, like I loved playing through it. Like it's so dark for such a cute looking game.
Yeah. It's a very fun vibe.
Do you feel guilty like sacrificing your villagers?
We didn't sacrifice anybody. We were like very our cult is a cult of grass eaters, so they eat grass and they all love each other, and they like to run around naked. It's great. There were so many DLC things that came out with that game, so that there's all these new ways to play it. There's a bunch of new bosses and new like ways to fight and stuff.
Okay, I gotta get back into it because I played it like the first couple months when it came out.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's like a completely different game now.
It is. It evolved a lot. And truly, I don't know. What's your partner's name again? Jeff. I don't know if Jeff is really into playing video games, but I will say it has been a very, very fun co-op game because you can kind of like bounce in and out. You don't have to like keep playing together.
Yeah. Did you ever play It Takes Two or have heard of it?
You know, okay, so here's the thing. Jules does this thing that when someone tells her to play something, she doesn't want to play it. Even though it's going to be one of her favorite games in the world. So we've started playing It Takes Two, and then like so many people told her to keep playing it that now she's like, no, I don't wanna. And I'm like, but I want to, and we can't. I have to play it with you. Literally, I have to.
What could get her to change her mind? Like, what's a similar thing that you like convinced her to give another go at?
That's a tricky question. She, I don't know. It's like, when it comes to video games, she needs to make that decision on her own. It's like a very, very strange thing that she does where she's like, if it's not my idea, then I don't want to play it. And it frustrates the heck out of me. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, if you don't want to play a game, I can't force you to play something that you don't want to play.
I do get that like contrarian attitude. Like, I think I just refused to this day to watch Game of Thrones just because everyone talked about it all the time.
Yep.
And like when something is just so popular, I just am drawn in the opposite direction.
Yep, that's exactly what's going on. Because so many people have said, you guys should play It Takes Two. Like, everybody. When we talk about, oh yeah, we love playing video games together, they're always like, have you played It Takes Two? And I'm like, we started it, Jules. We started it, didn't we? Yeah.
Have you played Overcooked with Jules?
Oh, we platinumed every single level on not only the main game, but the second game and every single DLC. We have aced all of that. That was like our pandemic thing that we like,
Yeah.
you know, we got really into it during the pandemic, and then we got so good at it. We were just like in the zone always yeah. It definitely helped us grow in our relationship, especially when we were jammed together and had to be like in the same room for freaking ever. That game really helped us through because it made us realize that we're a team and we need to work as a team. So I actually think that game really helped our relationship early on in it. So I appreciate that game a lot. It's a really cool game.
Oh, I'm glad it worked out for you guys, because Jeff and I cannot play it together.
I will say, originally it was tough. It was a tough one because both of us were trying to like fight for like being the head chef or whatever, you know? But then after a while we were like, no. You're in charge of this, I'm in charge of this, and if this doesn't work out, it's my fault. If this doesn't work out, it's your fault. So let's not mess up our duties. And let's work together as a team. And it took like loud arguing, not yelling, but just being a little loud, until we were like, hey, chill. We need to beat this though. This needs to be beaten. So we just got to deal with it. And then after like that, after we realized that it's us two against a problem, I think that's what we learned a lot of because of that game. And just in life in general, it's slowly taught us that when we come up to a problem where we start frustratingly like arguing with each other, we're getting very good at like recognizing that like, okay, we are not mad at each other. We're mad at the problem, and we're not working as a team to solve this problem together. And once we started to utilize that aspect, it really started to change the way we treated each other in general, but also the way that we treated problems that we were in front of. Now suddenly it was like, okay, I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at this, and I'm mad at that, and I'm frustrated that we're not able to solve this problem, but it's not you, it's this.
Right.
And that shift helped a lot, especially in that game.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone ever needs like couples counseling, marriage counseling, just do a couple rounds of Overcooked first, and then figure out how you're communicating with each other.
Yeah. There's also something about this is a personal thing where if whenever I'm playing video games, I get very I think it's the same reason why I really like crocheting. I like doing something with my hands or using my motor skills on something, which lets my brain and my mouth just say the things and act and like be more naturally myself, because I'm not really thinking about how I'm acting or what I'm saying as much, because I'm doing something with my hands and stuff. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, video games in general has really been a very therapeutic. I've had huge realizations about who I am as a person, and the ways like I've had a lot of breakthroughs because of video games. Because like I'll be playing Mario Kart with a friend, and we'll just be playing Mario Kart and then just talking, and then eventually I'll say something and I'll be like, "Wow, I didn't realize I thought that way, and I didn't realize that was a problem until now." Like, I don't know, there's certain things that make me have some real realizations when I'm playing video games or when I'm crocheting and talking, and it just oh, there we go. Raven says demasking versus distraction. That's interesting. Is that what it's called? Demasking? Because that is it really like what's it called? It blurs the filter between me and reality when I have something distracting me but demasking me. I don't know. That's a very interesting statement though, Raven. I'm curious of what that means.
I think part of being a teacher, like I see a lot of kids who struggle a lot with perseverance,
Interesting.
like just struggling through a problem. Like there's the attitude of I'm just gonna give it up. I'm just gonna give up and just like not even try anymore. Or there's ones that'll just like keep banging their head at the wall just to figure out the problem. And most of the time, the kids that are just they just keep going at it are the ones that do play a lot of video games.
Interesting.
Because I'll talk to them and then they'll bring up like a I don't know a really tough Mario level, and they just don't give up until they beat it, even if it takes like 90 tries. And I think like that sort of like energy and perseverance, I think video games has definitely taught me that.
That is fascinating. Yeah, you're totally right. Like, I'm definitely one of the people that just keeps banging my head until it's done. One of my favorite kind of games are like Hollow Knight or like those what are they called? Souls-like games.
Yeah.
That are like so difficult. But if you keep going, eventually you get it. And it's not like you're getting more powerful as you go, but instead you're learning how to play better, and that's what's making you more powerful.
And like you're learning to notice like little things about how the boss reacts before it like swings its sword.
Yeah. And so you're actually learning. You're learning instead of just like getting more powerful from the game making you more powerful, which is really cool.
I think being able to pay attention to little details too, I think is another crucial thing that video games teaches you.
Yeah.
Because so going back to It Takes Two, Jeff and I tried to play it together, but there was no way my sanity could just keep going with him. Because like he didn't grow up playing a lot of like platformers and things like that. So moving into 3D space while also controlling a camera just like doesn't make any sense to him whatsoever. So like because I've been playing games for like decades and decades, there's just like a literacy that you kind of build up.
Yeah, totally.
Like when it comes to video games, like I don't know, like it's just natural to like hold a controller in my hand when it's just not natural for Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a YouTuber that makes videos with their girlfriend of like what is this game like from the experience of someone that doesn't play video games.
Oh yes, Res.
Yes.
Something like a paper bag on his head.
Yep. I love his videos for that exact reason. It's just like it makes you as someone that understands video games recognize all the communication, all the language that you've learned from just playing over and over that you didn't even know that you knew this. Like you didn't even know that you knew how to control the camera so perfectly because you've been doing it forever. But then you put it in the hands of someone that doesn't really do that and they're like, this is alien. What are you talking about?
And then I think that like in turn also gives you a lot of empathy for how other people see the world.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. I think video games in general can really give a lot of empathy in general. Like, I mean, it depends on the video games that you play. Like, obviously, if you're playing a bunch of Grand Theft Auto, it's gonna skew your brain a little bit. It's not gonna make you more empathetic. But if you're playing a game like where you're consistently working on as a team, it'll skew you to be more like. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like the person that says, like, what is it? Like, video games causes violence. Video games doesn't cause violence, but it does. Video games do skew the way that you see the world. Like, I can't deny that. And in my experience, very positively. Video games have really, really improved my life and made me a better person and more conscious of the world and the people around me, and empathetic. So I don't know. I'm a big proponent of video games personally.
Yeah, like I wish I was like as knowledgeable in psychology that I don't know, could just do a survey or just like do a little study on like effects of video games, but like the positive effects.
Yeah. Hi, buddy. Come here, Jimbo. Jimbo wants to say hi. Come here. You can see him with his ridiculous cone.
Yeah, what's he doing with his cone?
Oh, buddy. He's so sad. He's so sad. It's so funny because he really likes licking, He's a very licky cat, but
Yeah.
he thinks that something's always in front of his face, so he's always licking his cone. It's so cute. And
How
he's
much
just
longer
so
does it have to
awkward
be
because he
on?
can't see anything. So like,
Yeah.
it's really
He's got
funny.
blinders.
Yeah, he has some kind of a, so he has an eye ulcer. He got a little cut in his eye,
Yeah.
and then he also has cat herpes. So he has a really hard time. He's having a hard time fighting it off, basically,
Yeah.
because he's fighting off viruses and bacteria at the same time as he's trying to like heal. Okay, hi, buddy. Hello. Wow, very friendly. Why do you smell like chicken? You're not supposed to smell like that. Okay, lay down. Oh my gosh, you are so sweet. Okay, there you go.
Jimbo. How old is Jimbo?
Can I crochet while I have him on my lap? How are your cat? Do your cats cuddle like this?
Only the kitten. So she's 2 years old and she's like attached to our hip. So if you're sitting and you're a free lap, like she's immediately in your lap.
Hold on, Jimbo, I can't hear. I can legit like barely hear you right now. Hold on, because he's purring in my ear so freaking loud. Okay, hi, buddy. Dude, okay. This is adorable. I love this. But it is so silly to look at. Just this, like... So what's your kitten's name? This is a fresh kitten, right? 2 years old?
Yeah, 2 years. Her name's Punchy, after the Animal Crossing character.
Wait, what's her name?
Punchy.
Oh, is that the cat in Animal Crossing, the like, feral cat?
No, like the lazy cat.
Oh, okay.
And like Punchy is like such a great name because she gets into trouble a lot, and it's like such a satisfying name to just yell.
What's your other cat's name?
Agi.
Agi, yes.
And he's 15. He's
Really?
an old guy. Yeah.
Wow, he's up there. He's a fuzzy one too, right? He's like a really furry cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's funny is like he's just been so set in his ways for so many years, and then this kitten comes along, like the kitten's super affectionate, and I think he's been picking up on some of her habits. So like he would never ever sit in our laps before, but now.
Oh. Now,
that
do
he sees
you
what
think
it's
it's
like-
jealousy, or do you think he's learning?
I think he's learning. I think he's realizing like, you know, it's comfortable and warm sitting on like my human's lap.
Oh boy, Jimbo, let go. Thank you. He's eating my yarn now. Okay, so we've chosen a color for our secondary color here. I think I chose a color. I hit a color. There it is, green. Okay, green is our secondary color. That works really pretty well with purple though. I'm definitely not going to finish this in this live stream though. I think we're gonna. What time do you think we can go to? Do you think 6 works for you, or 6 for me? So like 45 more minutes, or is that too much longer?
No, that's totally fine.
Cool. Hey chat. By the way, if you guys have any questions for either one of us, let us know in the chat. If you have any questions about designing crochet or just like all of Philip's crazy interests, how he is as a dancer, ask Philip about his dance career because he's a very, very good dancer. I've seen a few videos. And you're not teaching dance this year, right?
No.
Do you
Oh,
Are you not teaching dance because you don't want to teach dance, or because they stopped teaching dance at the school or something?
no. So it's still a dance program, but there was a teacher that came in who is like an actual trained dancer.
Oh, dang it.
So, and like the kids for me, like they'd only be learning hip hop, so
Yeah.
she could come in and teach them things like jazz and contemporary. So
Sure, yeah.
the kids definitely benefit from her expertise.
Do you miss it though?
I do. So I do a lot of my own stuff outside now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be part of a dance showcase in December, and we've already started training. So it's gonna be 10 weeks of training before we perform.
Wow, dude, it's that? Okay, so I mean, that's obviously like a staged art that you're doing in front of other people. Is this one of the first, like, have you are you used to that? Cuz I know for me,
No.
like, going in front of a bunch of people and performing is that's a very difficult thing for me to be comfortable with. Because I haven't really done it much. Is that the same for you, or is this like
Yeah, well, I still get super nervous every single time. I've only done like a few performances, like, and I only started dancing in like my early 30s, so I've only been doing it for just a little while. Um, but being on stage, like after you get off the stage, after you finish, like it just feels like it didn't even happen.
yeah.
Like you're just running on adrenaline the entire time. Like I don't know, you just like my I just black out, and then somehow I finished a performance.
That is a very exciting. Oh my gosh, buddy. He's in the worst position. I can't turn now. He's like in the position where I. Oh wait, can I? No, I can't. Yeah, that is something like Jules. So Jules is a theater actress, and she does she used to do a lot of theater. She hasn't done a lot of theater since the pandemic, because we moved and it's kind of hard to like get it started again down here. But she was the lead in like so many shows, and it is one of those things that I would not say inherently Jules is she's a very introverted person. However, she is like she is so not nervous at all in front of a bunch of people on a stage in front of a bunch of people, and I just like the bravery that takes is just so alien to me and exciting, and of just it I'm very proud of her. Whenever I see her on stage, I'm just proud already without her even being amazing at acting. It's just very I have a lot of pride in it. Is Jeff really proud of you for dancing? Because I can imagine that'd be very cool to see your partner like performing like that in front of people.
Um, I like to think that he's proud of me.
Does he dance?
No, he's terrified of it. I've
Good.
convinced him to go to one salsa class with me, and like there hasn't been any since. It's only been the one class.
Salsa is weird though. I did a salsa class with Jules right before the pandemic, and it just wasn't for us. It was just difficult, and it wasn't necessarily like it was difficult. It just didn't feel. Maybe it was the teacher we had, but we weren't vibing with it. We used to go swing dancing a lot. I know how to swing dance pretty well, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah, but not like I don't know. There was just something about it that I just really wasn't into. I think I really like the goofiness of swing dancing.
Yeah.
Not that swing dancing is always goofy, but there's something very like lighthearted about swing dancing that I really enjoy. And
Right.
salsa is not as lighthearted. It's much more like sexy and serious.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff though is like he's very musically inclined. Like he plays every instrument that you can name.
Interesting. And he's a
So-
good coder too, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he
so-
like really technically skilled as well?
Yes. Yeah. So, like I wish I could be musical, and then he wishes he could dance better. So it's nice that like we have different
Yeah.
skills that we can bring to the table.
Yeah, I totally feel that the same way. Yeah, I wish I was more musically inclined too. Jules is a crazy talented musician, but like I don't know. I've written some of my own songs, but I'll never like they're mine. You know, like I'll show her them, and very rarely I'll show a friend it, but it's usually that's a personal that's like one of my only personal hobbies.
Well, yeah, like and everyone's got things that only happens in their living room.
Yeah. I think I messed up somewhere. 1, 2. Oh yeah, I messed up the very first part. I messed up. 1, 2 increase. 1, 2. Yep.
So, for Lava Run, are you interested in doing any game board conventions
Yeah,
and bringing people to
definitely.
them?
For sure. I don't know enough about game conventions though. Do you have any? You go to a lot of conventions actually. Any suggestions?
Um, I don't know what it's called, but I have a friend that's like wild about board games, and there's like a big one that he goes to every year. And it's just board games.
That is my vibe. If you
Yeah,
find,
because he goes down to the States every year for it. I don't follow closely enough to remember what the
yeah.
name is.
Well, whenever you get a chance, ask them and
Yeah.
send it over because I'm looking. I'm definitely taking suggestions. I want to go to a lot more board game conventions, and like I have two or three other games that are prototyped, that are ready to be tested a bunch. I just like haven't announced them or released them anywhere. So
Right.
I really want to get into the community more. I mean, I am in the community here. Like I go to my personal board game store all the time, and I do like a monthly meetup with a bunch of designers. But I really want to start going to conventions. It's just conventions are scary. They're really they're
And
exhausting and scary. You
yeah,
are
it's
a
intense.
freaking
Like
veteran.
3 days of just like kind of nonstop conventioning is like it takes a toll on you by the end of it.
Yeah. But it's I mean clearly it's worth it though. Do you like because you keep doing them? Do you what do you enjoy most about doing conventions?
Um, I love meeting other artists.
Yeah.
So, and every convention, it's always been great. Whoever I'm like stationed beside, we would just become best friends by the end of the weekend. Um, I think with like regular life, like teachers, I'm not gonna lie, like they're not the most exciting people. Um, when I talk to other artists and other like crafters, um, uh, like the energy that you get from like creative minds being in the same like room together, like that's something that just keeps drawing me back to conventions is just meeting and talking to really creative people and just seeing how their brains tick.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I totally get what you're saying. I've gone to a few conventions for like video game or not video games. Well, actually, I have gone to a few video game ones, but I've gone to like VidCon a few times and stuff like that, and they're not the same kind of creative energies. You know, like you get a little bit of everything in there, so sometimes you get
Yeah,
some really douchey energies. But a lot of times you get these like just these creative minds, and my favorite people that I've gotten to know, a really good friend that I've gotten to know from those conventions is someone that goes by Mary Doodles. She's an illustrator, and it's just there's something about like a visual artist that we just like we vibe immediately. Like we get it. We don't even need to say anything. We just can feel that like we get it. Like there's something really nice about uh, 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 what's it called? Exerting your creativity. Is that the right
yeah,
way to say it? Just someone that is like passionate about creativity. I think that's the way to say it.
right. Because like when I meet people, it's like I get super antsy about telling them about crocheting and like that I love crocheting.
Yeah.
Um, and when you meet an artist or a creative person, like I don't get that like anxious feeling about talking about what I like to do
Yeah.
because I feel like a lot of like regular normal people often like will will be quite judgy. Um,
Sure.
like when you tell them you crochet, they're like, "Oh, so you just like sit at home like on weekends and just like make blankets." Like that's like the image that they get of you.
Yeah.
Whereas when I talk to a creative person, they just have so much more interesting questions to ask.
Where are you going, bud? I because they're thinking about different aspects of the. What are you doing? What are you? This cat is really trying to figure out what. It looks so funny. It looks so funny all the time. It's like the saddest. Have you had to have any of your cats in a cone?
not a cone, but when Punchy got spayed, she had to wear these like super tight like pajamas so that she couldn't like lick the like spay area.
Yeah.
It was so cute. Like she just has this like little teddy bear face on like this comically tiny body.
Oh my. Okay. Hi, buddy.
Yeah,
He's
so like
having
when
a
you
really
put them,
hard
like,
time choosing where he wants to sit. I just need you to make it just a choice. That's all I really need from you, bud. I don't care where you choose to sit, but you need to choose somewhere. Okay, you're gonna sit on my knee like a... Look, he's like a Lion King right now. No, he wants all my yarn. Yep. See, it sucks. He wants to play so bad. He's a very playful cat, but like he can't play with this thing on. So he's just got all this like pent up play energy that he just can't get out. I messed up the pattern somewhere along the line here, and I don't know where. So I'm just going to fix it on the fly.
How much longer does he have to have his cone on for?
Well, he was only supposed to have it on for a couple of days, but his eye wasn't healing very fast at all. So he's gonna have it. I don't know yet. I don't know until his eye is clean. The problem is once he takes it off, he starts to scratch, and it's like, well, no. Like, I'm sorry, bud. You gotta have it back on then, because I can't have you scratching your eye. Like, I don't want you in this anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's on so many different medications though. He's on like 3 different eye drops and this like green goo that he has to drink and stuff. And I just feel so bad. It's like, oh, my poor boy. He's so sad. But he'll be okay. Okay, I got my beak made. Boom. So did you get a chance to crochet Drew's Perisaurolophus by chance?
I do. Once these are all released, I do want to go through Drew's and then Crocheting Zaddy's and then Curious Papayas.
Yeah, Amy's is interesting. It's going through a lot of evolutions right now. And we haven't talked about it on the live stream, so we'll not spoil anything yet. But, like, every one of these designs, everybody took it in a very different way. I was like, oh, cool. I love it.
I'm just really enjoying making your dinosaurs right now.
Thank you. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm
Like,
really
through...
I am really proud of the dinos that I've designed so far, and I'm excited to make. I'm gonna try to make an Archaeopteryx, like a little version for Stitch, or for Lava Run. Maybe I'll just like I might just have to like do an alternate version of like the raptor to make it work or something, but like a baby version so that we can have it like the actual Archaeopteryx in the game. And I was gonna do something similar with the Perisaurolophus, of just like using the raptor as a base and then kind of like altering it slightly to make it fit better. But I just haven't had any time to do. I haven't had much design time at all recently because I've just been working on like redoing all these past patterns and then also like making all these like helping all these other designs out. So I've been like I feel strangely like I'm crocheting every single day, but I haven't been very creatively fulfilled with my designs outside of the live streams. Because in my live streams, we all decide like, okay, what do we want to make for this character? Like, do we want to give it a hat? And I have to like make something off the cuff. And so I'm really creatively challenged in those. But I haven't really had a lot of time to be like designing recently, and it's been kind of a like it's been weighing on me, you know.
Yeah. But I think like what we were talking about earlier, when your hobby becomes your job and then you need a hobby for your hobby.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what that's what's happening right now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Someone asked, what was the first thing that you've crocheted?
For my friend's, I think her 18th or 19th birthday, I made her a Ninja Turtle.
Okay.
And when I think about it now, I think she still has it. When I saw it last, like I just cringe so hard when I look at it because like it's crocheted inside out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just the proportions are way off. Like the head just looked like a sausage. Yeah, like and then I used just like shirt buttons for the eyes. I don't know, it looks so horrific to me that I'm glad like I don't have to look at it every day.
Yeah, I'm in this. I wish I had what I first made. I made an octopus, and it was it was a very similar situation where, like, I think like 2 or 3 of the tentacles of the octopus are inside out, and then the rest of them are regular. And then I use buttons for eyes or something. And I gave it to one of my best friends, Casey, and I ask her all the time, like, "Hey, do you still have that? I'd love to see it again, just to like see the first thing I made." And she's like, "I don't know where it is." I'm like, "Okay, dang. I wish you had it, but whatever."
In my very first year of teaching, like I had on top of my classes, I would have like a homeroom group of like 20 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember for their graduation year, I had crocheted them all like little tiny octopuses, and I ran into a past student of mine who is now a teacher herself, and she, like in her classroom, has like the little octopus that I gave her, and it's just so heartwarming to see.
That is heartwarming. Yeah, when you see like there is something really, really special of when you like see an old friend that you haven't seen in forever, and then they bring up like the one thing that you crocheted them, and they're like, "It's on my desk and I see it every day." And like those are those moments where you're like, "Wow, that is really cool." Like that is so cool that something that I made like is still making an impact in your life. Like I haven't thought about that thing in forever since I made it, really, but now it's like, oh wow, that's really sweet. That's really touching. Yeah.
Like
really sweet.
that form of appreciation, like I'm so like thankful for when I do give gifts, and they actually treasure it.
Yeah.
Because very often, sometimes you'll give a like amigurumi to someone who doesn't really appreciate just like crafting or making things with their hands.
Yeah.
And then like I remember there was one of my vice principals one year was having a baby, so I made her like a little teddy bear for her kid, and like just her reaction, it was like so anticlimactic. I think I just like wanted her to be overjoyed and happy, but I feel like she could give less of a
Yeah.
care.
I know exactly that. And you're like, look what I made for you, and they're like, oh cool. And you're like
in their mind, they're just thinking that they could have just bought it at Walmart.
Yeah, and in your mind you're like, I spent 6 hours on this thing, but cool. I'm glad you like I'm glad you think it's cool.
And that's the thing, is like that's why I love conventions, is because you meet people who understand how much work goes into creating art, whereas I don't know, a lot of regular people who don't craft or don't make things with their hands, like they just don't have a perspective on like what goes into it.
Yeah, totally. I used to make, I'm sorry, I didn't make, my story is that they make themselves, but I used to make these little characters called the woggles. They're like little characters that like create like, they doesn't matter. I was very protective of these things. They're really important to me because I put so much effort and thought into every single one of them, and they were all so specific and unique to each other. And I remember there was this woman that lived across the hall, and she had a boyfriend who, he was a long distance boyfriend, and he would come visit every now and then, and he'd come over, and he would just, he wasn't an artist, but he just really appreciated art, and he loved those little woggles so much, and he was like, he was my first patron of my work, where he would be like, oh my gosh, tell me more about this one, and I'd tell him oh, it's named this, and this is its little special thing and whatever, and he would just be like, yeah, listening and caring so much about it, and it felt so nice. It felt so validating that someone else got it. They got it. Yes, this is as important to you as it is to me, and there's something so sweet about that. Hey, we gotta announce a winner for our giveaway real quick. Will you do me the honor of doing a random number generator for me? You can pick the winner of we got 2 winners of crocheted dinos. One, we need a number between 1 and 965, and that one's going to be for our backer, because we have 2 giveaways. The first one's going to a backer of Lava Run, and the second one is going to a comment. And so I'll choose the commenter, and you can choose the backer, and I'll do a number generator from 1 to 50.
Okay, got my number generator.
50. All right. Ooh, wow. My number was early.
All right. I got 11.
Ooh, whoa! 11? That's crazy! From 900 and... You got the number 11? That's wild. Okay, really cool. Alright, so congratulations, backer number 11. They actually might be in the chat, because a lot of the early backers were live streamers. So, okay, so I gotta write that down. Backer number 11. That's crazy. And then...
What's nice to reward an early backer?
Yeah, that's really cool. By the way, again, what we're winning right now is whoever wins this giveaway wins a hand-crocheted dinosaur by myself. You're going to be able to choose which dinosaur you get. I'll give you, the option of, 10 or so different dinosaurs, and then you'll be able to choose. And I guess if you really hate all the dinosaurs, then I'll make a custom one for you. But backer number 11, congratulations. That's amazing. I'll find out who that is later on. I don't get to know the names of the backers until after the project is over. I think for safety or something. And then the other winner of our giveaway is a commenter on our post, which is so exciting. The winner is Mandy P. I don't know if you're in this live stream right now, but Mandy P had the fact of the T-Rex was most likely wasn't able to roar like in the movies, but made more of a sound like an alligator. So or something like that, I'm guessing. That is very interesting. And congratulations, Mandy. I'm going to comment right now on the post to let them know that they won. You won. Cool.
And I now that we've discovered dinosaurs with feathers, the pictures of T-Rexes that you see now, they're still big and monstrous, but they have these cute little colorful wings now.
I know, I like that a lot. I really wish that I had put in more, especially in the raptor one. I really wish I put in more feathers and stuff in that original design. And in fact, I'm actually working on redoing the raptor pattern as our last let loose pattern. So every week I've been letting loose another dinosaur, and whether that's a free pattern or an upgraded previous pattern, they're all getting released during this campaign. And the raptor's one that I'm currently working on, so that would be a really fun addition to it, and actually be probably a good way for us to work this Archaeopteryx portion into it as well. So I will work on something there, because I really like the image in my head of a T-Rex with like long feathers, like a fabulous T-Rex. Just as I love that.
Yeah.
Have you seen the documentary, like the one with David Attenborough? It's on Apple TV, and it's like dinosaurs in the real world. I can't remember what it's called.
No, do they just like place it in like a suburban
It is
neighborhood?
no. It's like as if you know the documentary Planet Earth. It's like Planet
Yes.
Earth but dinosaurs, and it is
Oh yeah.
truly one of the best dinosaur thing. Like, it is so cool. Let me look it up. Let me look at what it's called. Apple TV Dinosaurs. Prehistoric Planet. Highly recommended. Check it out. There's this one
Animation like top notch.
top notch. It is like absolute top tier. And there's this one part where they're talking about the Carnotaurus, which was like,
Yeah.
like the T-Rex looking one, and it had its arms were really, really tiny, but what's crazy was that they were on a ball joint, so they could swivel in every direction. And they were like, why would this dinosaur, why? It doesn't make any sense. Well, the Prehistoric Planet one theorizes a lot of bases it off of current creatures. So it's like, okay, for this example, it was like, okay, we know that birds are distant relatives of dinosaurs, and so let's look at the way that birds act in nature, especially in places where they're not worried about a predator and stuff. So like, if they are the predator, how do they act in culturally and stuff? And so anyhow, it comes down to, they theorize that the Carnotaurus had little, the bottom of its little arms were blue and the top were red. So, and it would do this little dance. It's one of the funniest videos of just this giant Carnotaurus being like, and it's just so, I don't know. I really highly recommend checking it out if you get a chance. It is, honestly, you could probably find that that clip itself on just YouTube later. I'll probably just text you it after this.
It sounds hilarious.
It's really funny.
Yeah, because it's just giving hand signals to communicate.
Yeah, and it's trying to mate, it's trying to hypnotize, or not hypnotize, but prove its worth to a mate. And it's just really interesting. There's another one where they talk about the a Brachiosaurus, and it had these weird air pockets in its bones along its neck.
Yeah.
And for a long time they were wondering, why would they have those air pockets? Is it just to make it lighter or what? And so they theorize in this special that they had little air sacs that they would puff out, like a lot of birds have.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating. Some of the and you have to all put everything with the caveat of we don't know for sure about any of this stuff. We don't know how these dinosaurs sounded and stuff like that. But this special does have a lot of facts to back up the hypotheses that they come up with, and it's just very scientifically a very, very interesting show. I highly recommend it.
Whoa, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely no way I'm finishing this up in 10 more minutes. By the way, we're gonna be going for another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna say bye, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully we might have another designer with us next week, as we come out with a new pattern. I'm trying to get someone on the horn. We'll see. If not, it'll just be me and you crocheting. So thank you guys for joining, if you have joined. And obviously, thank you so much, Phillip. Thank you for joining. This has been fascinating and very eye-opening. And I know if I was another crocheter out there watching, I feel like I also would have learned a lot from you in just this call. So thank you for taking the time and hanging out with us, and thank you for making this incredible design. It's one of the coolest things that we've ever come out with on the site, and that, you know, you keep that going. It started, what was our first collaboration pattern? Our
Gulliver.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Dude, if you guys haven't seen the Gulliver pattern that Phillip made, it is truly, I remember when you first did that design, it was like, I like started it and I was like, oh boy, what have I signed myself up for? This is so complicated. And then I finished it and it gave me that feeling of just being like, I made this? That's wild. I made this thing?
I need to revisit that pattern. I haven't made one in a while.
I bet you those would go very well at conventions too.
Yeah, like, because that pattern was during 2020. I mean, like, as crappy as it was, being stuck indoors, like, being able to have Animal Crossing, I felt like made that, like, the 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
like the first, like, March to like June-ish, like, I have such a fond appreciation of Animal Crossing just because it made my life so much more enjoyable during that time.
I totally agree. It really was like, it was very, very helpful. It definitely was. And it'll always be something that I'll always remember it, you know? It's really interesting to think that was 4 years ago. It feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat, does Phil have a YouTube? They do. They go by SirPurlGrey. You can see their @ where, right up there somewhere, right there. And actually, if you go to the top of the title of this video, you can see his Philip's @ is actually on the title. So if you click it, it should take you directly to his channel. But also, hey Philip, do me a favor and just comment in the chat really quick so people can get access to your channel really quick.
Yeah, we'll do.
And yes, you guys definitely should go check out Philip's site and a bunch of his other patterns. He's got so many different patterns, and I highly recommend checking them all out. If you are into a challenge, go do the Ho-Oh, the Pokemon one after this, because you'll already know some stuff from this pattern to take over to that, and I think it'll give you a real appreciation for crochet in a way that you probably haven't had in a while. So highly recommend checking out all of Philip's patterns. We have a bunch on the website, but he has even like way more on his own site, so go check him out.
And thanks to you as always for reaching out to me, but also other crocheters. Just like we've been talking about this entire time, like, we learn so much from each other that I don't know, I hope you're able to just keep reaching out to people and connecting more and more of us.
I really think that is the best part of, well, two things. One, that's one of my favorite parts about Club Crochet, and why, like, it is called Club Crochet for a reason, because I want to, like, it is the whole point of it is to work with other crocheters, to become a home for people that either want to learn how to crochet or other people that want to learn how to design to crochet. And so one of my favorite parts about Club Crochet is getting the opportunity to collaborate with other amazing artists like yourself. And I just really appreciate you taking the time and effort there. And like, it's just, that's my favorite part about owning my own business, is that I get to work with people that I really want to work with. And I get to help create new pieces that maybe wouldn't have been made otherwise, like this Archaeopteryx. And so the appreciation goes both ways, for sure. I really appreciate you taking the time and effort and also not only taking the time and effort, but also taking the time and effort to design something that is so, like, it's just really cool. You knocked this one out of the park. And I mean, you've knocked them out of the park again and again. Like, the turtle was like straight the home run. This one is just another, like, you're on fire, dude. I'm so excited to see your journey of crochet and all the things that you make. And I want you to understand, like, I really appreciate you as a crocheter so much, thank you for sharing your talent and for joining us today and making stuff with us. And it's just thank you, Phillip. Really.
Oh, and like everything you just said, right back at you.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah. Okay. So we got like 5 more minutes. Is there anything else? Anything you want to plug? Anything that you wanted to talk about, or anything that you wanted to like send your like the fans your way or something?
Um, I, I wish I was a little more active on YouTube. I promise I will get better. Um, but usually like Instagram is the thing I throw out. That's where I post everything that I'm currently working on. Um, if you weren't here earlier, there's like a little preview of a little pygmy hippopotamus that I'm working on. So, yeah, just head over to my Instagram, SirPurlGrey, and then just yeah, keep up with my life and my posts through my posts.
Yeah. Seriously, he makes some truly insanely awesome things. No one crochets like you. You are a very, very, very unique designer, and just a unique person in general, and just a sweet person. I love you, bud. You're great.
Oh.
Thank you so much for just being you.
Oh, one thing I want to do, like when I actually find some free time, I was cleaning my room and I found some old crochet patterns, but I was so bad at labeling things. So, like I mentioned, like when I'm jotting down notes, I'm just doing stitch counts.
Yeah.
So I found a bunch of sheets of paper with patterns, but they're all just numbers. So I want to just sit down one day and just crochet these pieces and just remember what I was even trying to make at the time. Because this is over
that.
like a decade old. And
It's like a work in progress challenge or something.
yeah, like I have no idea what it's going to be. But if I just follow all these numbers, I just want to see where it leads me, and if I can jog my memory of what I was trying to do.
I was thinking a fun challenge could be to well, I have 2 ideas for fun challenges to do. One is to make a pattern like that, but on purpose, where I don't explain where anything. I say sew part A to part B or whatever, but I don't say what part A or part B is supposed to be, and then it's like a mystery crochet along, and you don't really know what you're making until you make it. So that was one idea, and then the other idea was I think it'd be really fun to start a design, like I make a head or something, and then I send you it, and then you make a body, and then you send it to another of our designer friends, and they make the arm and a leg, and then we make this like monstrosity of a design. I just think
that
it'd
would
be so much
cool.
fun.
Yeah, just to see like how differently our brains interpret.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun. So I'm working on something for that as well. So I'll keep you updated, obviously. And I'll reach out right after this about the forest one. I've been meaning to reach out to you all week about it, but I've had
You're busy.
a
You're
lot
busy.
going on.
Like I'm fascinated by just like, things like the box engineering for Lava Run.
Oh, thanks.
Just to get like even like the way that the board folds out, like how much stress like goes into
A lot.
like figuring out all these little measurements.
A lot. Yeah, that I'm still. I mean, what you currently have is also like the prototype. The finished version is gonna have a few things different that I've learned about it. Like the pop out pieces don't really fit into their stands very well, so I'm working on a different option for that. The box inside I don't really like. But yeah, the folding thing alone, that one was a huge undertaking because it's such a big board, and I didn't know how. I was like, how are we going to fold this down enough for it to be put into a box? Like, I don't understand how this is gonna work. And so I came up with the concept of doing like an accordion fold like that, and thought, okay, I've never seen a game fold like this, so I don't even know if this is possible. But I'm gonna send it to the engineers that are helping me actually like to manufacture this, and so they came back with the first version of that, and it worked so well. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was it was a huge relief off my back of just being like, oh my god, this actually could happen. Because the board itself was a big issue. Because I was like, I don't know how, like, I don't see how this is going to fit into a box. Because it needs to be, it had to be as big as it is, because each of the squares have to be as big as they are to fit the crocheted dinosaurs. So it all came down to, like, everything needed to be that size because of the squares and blah, 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 blah. So it ended up being so giant. But I just love the way it folds all up. So I honestly, like, you saying that means a lot to me. There was a lot of effort and thought that went into it. So I appreciate that someone noticed, you know?
Oh, definitely. And are you going to be doing, like, are you planning any, like, DLCs? Like, do, like,
yes.
an Ice Age version?
So there's been a lot of DLC that's been unlocked during the campaign itself. So we've unlocked, obviously we've unlocked that baby brontosaurus. We've unlocked another new dinosaur, which it looks like it's going to be the Parasaurolophus. People are still voting on it. We've unlocked, so far we've unlocked 2 new tiles to play with. The rainstorm and a tsunami, which both affect the board and, like, change the way that the game is being played. And then if we hit our next stretch goals, basically the last stretch goal is currently at 150, which would be wild if we get there. And because it's such a wild number, I think I'm gonna probably just be like, I'm just gonna release it anyhow. But we'll see what happens there. But I have a whole bunch of DLC for that with this is a spoiler for anybody out there, but it's called the H2 No expansion pack. Oh no, H2O No. That's what it is. The H2O No expansion pack, and it's a bunch of extra tiles and creatures and stuff that are all water themed. So that's our goal, to get that one unlocked. And then if Lava Run does really, really well, I have other ideas for it, where I want to do an Ice Age version of the game, which I thought would be really fun. I have an Alien expansion pack that I had ideas for that I think would be really fun. So there's a lot of room for expanding this and, you know, giving DLC and stuff like that for this game. And then I have 2 more games. Well, I have Stitched, that we're going to be doing something very similar next year as we did with Lava Run. And then I've got 2 more games that I've been had in the back burner that are all developed. I just need to get them to start testing. And then a 3rd game of a game that I've just... So now that, like, it's kind of like feels like the proof of concept. Lava Run was like, okay, will people like this? People clearly seem to really like this. Awesome. Now I'm going to put diesel in the engine and just... I want to do this a billion times. Like, I have so many fun ideas, and I just have so much motivation and energy for it. So it's been a really, really fun and exciting couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining, Philip. That's going to be our time. I think for today it's 6 p.m. and we've been crocheting for quite a while. Hey, if you're watching right now, please like this video down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell icon so you don't miss it when we come out with new videos. We're going to be live again next week. I'm going to try to be live again next Wednesday, playing some Lava Run. So go ahead and like and subscribe and join like that. Also, go check out Philip's channel. You can find him at SirPurlGrey pretty much everywhere. There should be a link in the chat right now. Yes, Cooper just put a bunch of links in the chat, so there's a link to his YouTube channel, to his website, and to his Instagram. Go check him out. Go like all of his stuff, and he just makes amazing things. So yeah, go check out SirPurlGrey. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. We'll be back again on Friday again with a live crochet along as well. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you again, Philip. And pasta la pizza. Happy hooking. And we'll see you all next time.
Thank you. See you later.
It's one of these. There it is. Bye. Oh my gosh, I forgot to also say. Stop. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. Oh my gosh, you're making me blush.